how safe is chiropractic? Recently on one of our videos, a comment was asking about the safety of care, asking if our care or techniques we were doing were safe or if they were safer than, say, other approaches, whether it's other physical approaches, say, similar to chiropractic or compared to other chiropractic approaches themselves. And yes, here in our practice, things are very safe. We make sure that for any patient coming in, there's always going to be a thorough history, physical examination, and we take x-rays to exclude any red flags to make sure things are safe and that we are accurate with our care. However, it's not just us. Throughout chiropractic, the stats are very clear. Chiropractic is extremely safe. It can vary a bit depending on the studies that you're looking at, but the research shows that somewhere between the range of 1 in 1 million or 1 in 5 million are the chance of having a serious adverse effect from chiropractic. And for some people, they're going to hear that number and go, wow, 1 in a million. It actually isn't that, that small of a number. Some people may think it's quite big. For parity and to understand the relative risk, something like Panadol, paracetamol, will have a similar risk of 1 in 50,000. That's somewhere in the range of 20 to 100 times more dangerous. And Panadol is extremely safe. There's that old joke from Scrubs where someone asks how much you should take of these kinds of medication, and someone should just open their mouth, they throw as much and whatever lands. By the way, I'm not suggesting that you should open your mouth and throw as much paracetamol as you can inside. That is not a good recommendation. But this does show that even compared to something which is an extremely safe intervention, like Panadol, chiropractic is still even safer than that. To give you an idea of what's happening on the other side of things, some of the things which we may think are quite safe, but actually can be quite dangerous, this is something I was told by a liver surgeon. He was working on a new way that they could detect problems with liver, especially if they were looking for someone who had liver cancer. And for that particular case, he was telling me that if you go for a liver biopsy, the chance of death is 1 in 500. That's not from a surgery, that's not from an intervention, that's just from the test. So to summarize, does chiropractic have risks? Of course. Every kind of health or medical intervention will. Too much vitamin D is going to be unhealthy for you. However, in terms of the relative risk, as long as you're going to see somebody who is properly trained, has been to a proper institution, somebody who is doing proper testing, they're doing an adequate physical examination, they are checking your history, and they're making sure they are excluding any potential red flags that may be lingering into your case, then it is extremely safe for you to see a chiropractor.